Imagine that while searching for Minecraft servers, you find an abandoned server with no players inside. Out of curiosity, you try to join, but it doesn't work. A few days later, you accidentally return to Minecraft and click on the abandoned server, managing to get in. At first, you look inside and everything is abandoned and silent. There are no players or mobs wandering around. You enter a house, but suddenly you hear that something or someone starts to approach and they start to whistle. But how is this possible if there's no one inside? This is what happened to this user named Edward. Then he wanted to document his story in photos, but soon after, something appeared to him that looked like the shadow of a person. Then he felt like he was being watched and strange signs with weird messages started to appear. To make things worse, his game crashed. He tried to log in, but the server had shut down. The most unusual thing is that in one of the photos he took, there's a link to a secret playlist where Edward explores the mysterious server and finds a dark secret. The story begins with this photo.
The other day I was bored and started looking for IPs of abandoned servers, maybe 100 until one worked. I'm going to explore it. The server is called Lantern. It's odd. I might take some photos for records. Its rules are, don't break, don't fight with other players, and don't use bad words. Update. I feel like I'm being watched or followed, but when I look back, there's nothing there. I think I'm imagining things. Update. I took this photo by turning quickly, but what do you think? Does it look like a person standing there? Or is it just a lighting bug? When I tried to get closer, it disappeared. I'm getting nervous. Update. I went into this house and found a table with chairs and names, but I'm hearing whistling, like from a man, in the distance. Update. I think I'm going to leave this server. I don't know if what I'm seeing is a player or just my imagination, but this update was starting to leave signs. This one says, "Why are you here?" I still hear the whistling, and it's getting closer. My Minecraft crashed and I tried restarting the server IP, but it doesn't work anymore. I can't get in. I copied and pasted it several times, but nothing. The error I have is update. Does anyone know how to fix it? Also, I'm a bit relieved that server was messing with me a little. I'll leave you the IP in case you want to try joining.
Let's try to uncover the dark secret that this Minecraft server is hiding. In these videos, we're going to analyze them and I'll explain what's going on. Update. The first video is called Exploring. And in this video, he goes into a house where he finds a very strange sign. With some strange words, it's hard to make out at first, but it says the word "why." It's not clear what it means. So he stops for a moment to think. The next thing he does, he goes to the barrel that's to his left, starts checking all the chests and things that are there, the blocks. When he finds a book and some little things that another player had left inside a barrel, but out of nowhere, he starts hearing some footsteps and whistles, and that's where the video ends. And that? The most important question, who left that sign written there? The owner of the house, maybe? But what is important is that we pay attention. What did the book mean? Because if you remember, there are many items inside the barrel, and it seems that no player has wanted to steal the items or the things, and also the footsteps and the whistles that are heard at the end of the video. In the next video, we see that he has buried himself in some kind of cave or something like that because he got scared by the footsteps and proceeds to read the book. Guillermo's book. I have created a server. I'm going to invite more people to join. January 2022. I can't believe it. I found the book that Pablo took from me a year ago. January 2023. Who is the one stealing my book from my barrel? Next time, I'm going to catch them. March 2023. April 2023. This can't be happening again. On the other pages, there's nothing, but if we go to the last one, he leaves a very strange message. Who are you and why are you taking my things? If anyone finds this, leave. It's not a player. Everything that's happening in the book is very interesting, like the prank his friends played on him when they stole his book. But what catches our attention is the last message, where he warns that what's inside with them is not a player. Again in the video, whistling. Edward is buried. He comes out to see if it's daytime, and indeed, it is daytime. Now, what intrigues him is the house in front of him, okay, the big house, made of bricks. He finds it open, goes in, and there are several seats with names. We imagine they belong to the players or friends he had, but one in particular doesn't have any name. It contains a message saying, "Here you used to sit," and something else. He doesn't know what's happening, so he'll check the next part. In the next part, we find chests. One of them is empty, and in the next one, there are some food items. And that's it. There's nothing important that we see as relevant. And there's a chest upstairs, which has a message. The message is really strange. And now we're going to read it. What does surprise me is that there are no mobs around and you can't see anything. It says, "We all speak, and we agree to do something." I told him that wasn't it, but he didn't listen to me. After that, he goes out and sees another house that's made of the same material as the one he was in. He looks back because he feels a presence or something like that. I don't know. It's not clear. He goes into the house and explores it a little. He sees a hole and there's a sign that says, "Every night comes here." Then he steps back and someone or something put up a sign. He reads it and it says, "Why are you here?" He's still really scared and the video cuts off there. What we're going to highlight are the names of the people who are here, and one where there's a message that says, "You used to sit here," and a bit of something else that's not clear what that means, but further up about the book, these phrases that are written here, they don't make sense to us without context. What's a bit scary is the sign at the end. Who put it there? So the way I see it, something that's not a player is definitely inside. Later on, what's relevant are the rules in the server name. The server is called Lantern, and the rules are the usual ones. Don't fight with others, insult, use bad language, or destroy others' houses. So in the end, he sees a bridge, or I don't know what that is, that leads to a building, a path. He decides to follow it, even though it's really strange, made with fences and let's say tables. Because that's how Minecraft tables are made. Vanilla decides to follow it. And this goes into the jungle, and it looks like it's a mine. A mine that he follows, but it's really weird because it's hollow. It goes out to another side. When he realizes that the mine continues downward, down some stairs, he decides to keep going to see what's further below. Since there are no monsters nearby, he decides to go down a little further, and this leads to a mine. The mine is very dark, and the fog makes it even scarier, creating a truly terrifying effect. What is really strange is that no skeletons have appeared. No zombie skeletons, creepers, whatever you want. There's a path with torches, I guess so you don't get lost, you just follow them. And then he comes across two paths, one to the right and one to the left. Then he goes to the one that says right and sees that there's another one going down. We don't know what he's thinking, but here he decides to take the other path. The one that goes to the right, not down, but down to the left. Sorry, he goes to the left, but he doesn't have a torch, so he decides to grab one of the extra torches there to have a bit of light. He has almost no resources, no pickaxe, and hasn't found anything else. He's exploring, so he decides to follow the mine since it's lit up. And with the lights on, it's not as scary. He notices something might be following him, but assumes it's just his footsteps. That's strange. Then he keeps walking along that path near the mine to see what he finds, occasionally stopping to look back. A sign reads, "Diamonds for everyone, one each." And there really are diamonds. Then he hears some very frightening footsteps behind him, cautiously turns around to where his own footsteps were and realizes there's no one there. It's very strange because the footsteps sounded really loud behind him. Or rather, we'd say inside the wall. I don't know how to describe them. He goes to look toward the other corner and indeed finds another sign, and the sign says, "I'm friendly, don't be afraid. I want to play." No one knows what was here behind him. Following him, now we realize that the footsteps that were following them at first weren't his, but someone else's. The important thing about this story is that once again, this entity is following the player and leaves him a new message. I'm friendly, don't be afraid, I want to play this thing. It's not known if it's a player or something else, but what is certain is that it's scary because the footsteps sounded way too loud. I don't know if you remember the photo where the guy looked back and there was a shadow that looked like a person, but when he got closer, it disappeared. Is this thing talking to our friend and the one putting up the signs? The next video is called Cemetery, and we see our player wandering around the world. Suddenly he finds what looks like a grave. Very important because honestly, it's pretty big and has a lot of signs. The signs say the following: Guys, look, it's very important. We will never forget you. You are a good person. Rest in peace, Rodrigo. We will miss you a lot, friend. Fly high from your friends Pedro, Pablo, Miguel, and Guillermo. And we now see that something tragic occurred. One of the friends who played on this server unfortunately passed away, and as we can see, his name was Rodrigo. Here it becomes clear, guys, that someone passed away and was very close. They were all very good friends, so they made a tribute to him in the form of a grave. In the following video called Coordinates, we see the player exploring a tower where one of the players used to practice the water drop. I think that's what it's called, and he was trying to do the water drop. Out of the 100 blocks, it was Pablo's property. Later on, he realizes that, well, there's nothing else. And he continues. Here we head towards where the community portal is, let's say the portal to the community nether. The player goes down and notices that there are a lot of little things behind this big training tower. There's the portal, they made it pretty tall, and there's a sign that says it's a portal to the nether, but it's a community one. Then, further ahead, there's a small sign and a plot of land that looks like it used to be Rodrigo's house, but when you get a little closer, there's a huge hole. What's going on here? Why is there a hole instead of Rodrigo's house? Trinitrital Wayne, was it demolished or something? You can hear some footsteps, and suddenly a sign appears again with a very terrifying message. He can't quite make it out. He doesn't read it, but it seems to disturb him somehow, right? So he runs and goes to take shelter. His idea is to hide from whatever is following him, and he goes into the fountain. According to him, they can't see him. And there's a barrel inside where there's a book and a bucket. The book has some coordinates inside that lead to somewhere. And that's where the video ends. One thing is very certain. Who the heck is putting these things behind the player? And what about the footsteps that can be heard? He turns around and there's nothing there. It's really strange. We didn't get to read the sign, so we don't know what message it had. But what really intrigues us is what he found in the book. More than this thing, because we can't see it, we don't know where it is. But the thing with the book has some coordinates that you can read, which leads somewhere. If you want us to upload the second part, let me know in the comments, since it's a pretty big mystery and there are several parts to it.